Welcome everybody. This reading today is a message from Spirit to give you a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of empowerment. Because, sometimes along this journey of life we get a little bit, stuck, stale, sad, all these type of emotions. They're very normal. So let's just see what Spirit wants to share with us and what we need to hear. And I've got my smudge stick and I'm just clearing the energy from this area. And I will put timestamps. I'll put timestamps in the description for our 3 crystals that we have here. Beautiful points. Please, I invite you to like, subscribe, share, and all those beautiful YouTube things for my channel. I welcome you back. If this is your first time, welcome. And let's get into this. So our first crystal is our Lapis Lazuli. So if you were attracted to the beautiful Lapis Lazuli, now I love this crystal. It's one of the first crystals I ever worked with many years ago. And Lapis Lazuli, if you were drawn to that, it's really good for truth and integrity. It's a great crystal for friendship. It's really good to open our mind and our awareness. So it really gives that beautiful shift. And all over a good mood. So if you wear this crystal, it just heightens your mood and your frequency, really, isn't it? When we're in a good mood, we are quite light. So this is Spirit coming to you, giving you the push just to lighten up a little and be a bit more free thinking. So you don't have to stay within the constraints of what you've always known. It's time to start, being inquisitive and getting that activation in your, the intuitive and the inner wisdom, that sort of stuff, the activation in those areas. So it's a beautiful crystal. So that's what your message is today from Spirit. To know that it's time to lighten up and to lift. And you may already be that, the joker at the party or the person that, or how they always say there's always that one person that makes a joke in a serious situation, and that's something that you do. But I don't want you to be using your humour to stifle your emotions or to, lighten something up when there's something serious. But in saying that, I do want you to lighten up with life in general. Okay, so that's what this message is for you. So let's take a bit more, a deep dive into what this message is about and get a bit more clarification. So, it's nice to be told to lighten up. I get that a lot because the work I do is quite heavy and people say, oh God, can you lighten up? Why are you so deep? But I'm deep naturally. I love asking the big questions and I love that. So there's that aspect to you as well. I know you excuse me, love to ask the big questions, but you'll lighten something up at the minute you don't want to hear it. Okay? Wise counselor. We've got a beautiful queen there and a beautiful king. All right, so let's look a bit more deep into this. So people come to you for your advice. People do, but the thing is, you pick and choose what you want to talk about. If it's uncomfortable for you, I give you the permission to have a look at why and maybe have that conversation. Have the conversation you usually turn away from, because it can make light of a situation. And the thing is, the more we run away from things, the more fear that we have and the deeper and darker we can become. So you've got the knowledge inside you. Allow yourself to open up and share that wisdom, and in that you'll find the healing and you'll release the shackles of that fear that you may be carrying. So that will really help you. It's really interesting because I'm always saying get deep to get light. Okay, so you allow yourself to have those deep, intense conversations. Don't shy away from them, because in that comes a lightness, and then you'll be able to lighten up. So you've got nothing that has power over you. Now, I know, for instance, a lot. I know more people that have had COVID, for example, that haven't. And the thing is, a lot of people are realizing in my world, and I'm only talking about personal experience, that it has been something that hasn't been as fearful as they first thought. So it's like, now that they've had it, it's actually, there's no power over them with the fear anymore. There's actually no fear around it. And I'm sharing that example because it's more universal, and we've all been through it and still going through it to some degree. And this may not resonate for all of you, and I'm sure there's been people that have been quite unwell, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about my personal experience, and I'm using it as an example, because when we have something that we're so fearful of and we keep running, it builds and builds and builds and becomes bigger. But the minute we allow it to be something that we face up to, or that we have to go through with, or we can't hide from it anymore, it loses its power. And in that, we find a new light, and we can lift, and we cannot be so afraid, because fear is a very low vibrational energy, and it can really feed. Fear breeds, and it's very low. So you know the information, you've got all the experience. Allow yourself to step up, have these conversations, and move through it. And in that, you will be no longer the prisoner. You will actually be the victor in it, and you'll be able to move forward much lighter. The next card you've got is releasing situations or people that no longer serve you. Now, this is exactly this. So it gives you permission to have these conversations, and the heaviness and the fear around these, people, these experiences, these situations, these beliefs. Face up to them, and then you release them. Because when you release them, they no longer serve you. You actually, like I said, release the shackles. So it's confirmation, okay? And focus on the beauty. So you'll see this I say queen because she's on a throne. She's got the sword, but she's looking at the beautiful butterfly. So you can start focusing on the beauty, the rebirth that comes out of something so restrictive and something that you've been locked in for so long, because that beautiful butterfly is balancing on a very sharp sword, but they're completely supported. So it's like you're facing up to that darkness and making beauty out of it, because you will grow from it. So it's an absolute beautiful time for you. And last but not least, we've got the card that brings in relationships. So it says here that it's time for you to lift into that loving vibe. The creation, the poetry, all that type of feelings come when we lose this heaviness. So it's time to lighten up. When you can lighten up in relationships you already have, or relationships you want to attract, you'll find that you'll be a beacon of light for others. You'll be attracting, they will be coming to you, because you're losing that energy. So yes, you may make light of serious conversations and make the jokes and all that because you're uncomfortable, but now you can do it because you've already worked through it. Hold space for others, let them go through it. Don't block conversations because you don't want to hear it. Embrace them and see what needs to be shifted a little bit more for you, because the more you're open and willing, the quicker you'll go through it, and you'll even be even lighter, because you are the beacon of light. People want what you have, but I don't want you to be hiding behind humor anymore. I want you to really have this joyous feeling, because it's real, and that is your message for the beautiful Lapis Lazuli, which is number 1. Yeah, you know what? I've got a lot of people in my life that do hide behind humor, and I believe that I do it a lot of times too. And sometimes it's just to, break the tension and laugh, and that's all well and good. But in that, revisit whatever made you uncomfortable from a beautiful new energy, because that light does break, the laughter breaks the tension, it lifts the vibration, and you come from a place of love rather than doom and gloom all the time. So that is for the Lapis Lazuli. Now, the second beautiful point, which is this crystal, This is the Caribbean Calcite. Now, what I love about this crystal is that part there. Because some people would look at that and go, oh no, it's ruined, I don't want it. But see, that's what I love. It's beautiful. And I heard a story the other day about a builder that, built a beautiful brick wall and had 2 bricks that were out of place. And then at the end of it, he was like, oh God, I got to pull this brick wall down, because he was focusing on those 2 bricks that were out of place. But the thing is, the whole wall was absolutely gorgeous, and it was only those 2 bricks. And if you stared at those 2 bricks, you're going to feel like a failure and you haven't got it right. But the rest of the wall, why would you sabotage that beautiful wall just because of 2 bricks when this whole wall was made of hundreds of bricks and all those bricks were perfect? And that's what this is. Your message here is to start owning the imperfections. Let them be beautiful in itself. I know that, what is that, Your Perfect Imperfections, that song. I absolutely love those words, and I invite you to go and get that song. And I don't even know what it is, the imperfect imperfections. See, I don't even know the tune now that I'm singing it, but yeah, look into that and really read those words and understand that song and see how it resonates for you. Because I really feel like your message of empowerment is to really use those traits that you've been hiding from and blocking as your superpower. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm oversensitive, I cry so much. It's like, well, if you're oversensitive, that is a bloody superpower. You tap into that and let yourself feel those emotions deeply, but feel them and be okay with it and get on with it. Don't feel them and just say, oh, that's me, I'm a mess and I'm broken and all this sort of stuff, because you're not. You just feel things, and that is completely okay. So the Caribbean Calcite is all about spiritual growth. It actually is a relief from anxiety. So I know you're a very emotional being, and I know you're an empath, and I know you feel other people's stuff. So this is a reminder to keep your boundaries aligned, okay? Because you may be feeling other people's stuff like it's your own and getting a bit blurred. The lines and the boundaries are becoming a bit blurred. So I really want you to focus on clearing those boundaries and really learning how to do that for yourself. Also, it's really a beautiful crystal to help you set intentions and get clear with where you're going. And sometimes because you're a bit blurred, it makes it hard for you to know what's next and where to go with intention. So, this crystals are really beautiful just to hold and visualize what you're after, and just keep, the energy toward getting what you want or getting where you want to go. And I'm sorry if you heard that car start. That was just outside. A diesel is always bloody much louder than other cars. So I apologize if you heard that. If you didn't, I'll continue. So this is a really good crystal for meditation, intention setting, and clearing your third eye and crown chakras. So that real spiritual connection. So I know you're naturally spiritual. I know that you have a spirit team that you're aware of, and I really want you to build on that, because they're here today to help you move forward. So let's get some more messages about this empowering, that's this one, empowering message. So the first one is wisdom, inspiration, and Akashic records. Confusion, many choices, uncertainty, and letting go of urgency. Okay, so I really feel like your superpower of being sensitive is heightened at the moment. I really feel like it's you may be actually more sensitive than usual, but you're sensitive anyway. Okay, so in that, I really urge you to allow yourself to sit in meditation as much as you can at the moment for the next week or two, because you'll have your spiritual team dropping downloads in to help you with that intention, because there is the confusion card comes out, and that's the one that's really standing out to me, I must admit, and it's just not knowing. So like I said, hold this crystal with the intention of what you're after, and it will help clear the way with synchronicities and things, conversations you'll hear, all that sort of stuff. So The thing is, there's a lot of information that you're getting. These downloads are happening. You're tapping into the records, the innate wisdom, everything that's happening around you. But in the confusion, and it's sort of loud, like you're getting messages and you're not hearing them, and you're getting confused whether it's spirit or whether it's just your thoughts. So really sitting still and allowing that space is going to help you. And giving yourself the time and space. It's like you're going, yeah, this is all well and good, but I don't have the time. I've got this to do, this. And yeah, you do. You've got all of that to do, but you're not going to be doing anything fully if you don't give yourself the time and space. So when you surrender from those time constraints, the deadlines and all that sort of stuff, give yourself some freedom. And I personally have been overloaded with seeing clients, and I was booking clients in because I was scared to say no. And that's just a personality trait of mine that I've been working on for years. I'm getting better at it, but there's still more work, and I feel like this is you as well. So I know that this resonates. And the thing is, I now have set up a booking system so people can just click my next availability. I don't even have the conversation. I don't need to look at my schedule. I don't need to squeeze people in. I don't need all that sort of stuff, because coming from a place of wanting to serve, coming from a place of wanting to, help people, it takes away that urgency. It takes away all that type of stuff. And they just click, they book when I'm next available, and I don't need to go into that spiral of feeling like I'm letting someone down or disappointing people. So I know that makes sense for you where you're at the moment. So please take advantage of this beautiful crystal. And you use it in meditation, connect with it, call in your spiritual team, ask for your downloads in divine time, and sort out where your priorities lie. Because now that I've got this booking system, I had to take my boy to the doctor this morning. I had to, do other things with my daughter the other day, and I took him to the park, and I could just sit there for an extra half an hour without rushing off. And it was because I now have a schedule, and it makes all the difference. It's time that you make more of a schedule. But I want you to schedule time for your meditation, time for you, and time for if anything like shit hits the fan. Be available and have time to be able to deal with it rather than going into a full-blown meltdown, which us sensitive people can do very easily. So take control. Get your Caribbean Calcite, or just, ask the universe to bring in the energy of a Caribbean Calcite if you don't have one, or you don't need to have this crystal, but that's what it's bringing in. That's the answers and the messages that it's bringing into you for that crystal today. And, you've got this, but just, a bit of structure and scheduling time for you. And that is your message for the Caribbean Calcite. And last but not least, we have the Tiger's Eye. Oh, mate, I love Tiger's Eye. This is all about personal power. This is all about, not waiting for people's confirmation, for their acceptance, for their invitations. You're sick of putting a value on yourself based on other people's thoughts and opinions and what they say. It's really good, again, for anxieties. It takes away the need to be needed also, because when you're standing in your own power, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You're not going to get sucked into other people as well, okay? So this is another crystal that gives you that strength. And, you think of the tiger in a forest, for example. They don't care what people think about them. They just go out and get what they need, and then they go and retreat. And that's basically where you're at. You've got this power, these tiger senses, all those sort of traits. I wouldn't be surprised if, you've been seeing tigers around, or they're your spirit animal, or you're picking up on their traits, that type of thing. And it's a really empowering time for you, because, it's really nice to just let go of the feedback from people. If you're in a work situation and you're doing a presentation, be content that you've given all you've got, and not waiting for the feedback to validate yourself. Like, go for a job interview and be okay that you did great in that job interview, and it doesn't matter if you get the job or not. you know you gave your all and you were real and that type of thing. So this is what your tiger's eye brings to you. It takes away the fear and allows you to take the risks. It's time that you take some risks in life. Don't play it safe just because you know you'll do good. It's time to take some risks and be okay if you get it wrong, which you will not, because you doing it is enough. Okay, it's these cards that I'm pulled toward for this reading. So let's get a bit more information for the beautiful tiger's eye. Oh, okay, got it. Being told it's that one. Thank you. Oh, okay. I feel like you're juggling too many things at the moment. Like the way I'm shuffling these cards is all over the place. So I know that it's time for you to, you know, just take it back a scale. Just one or two scales. It feels as if there's only one or two extra things that you've put onto your workload that need to come away, because you like to get it right. There's this innate personality trait in you that if you're going to do something, you're going to do it properly. You're not going to waste your time. And it's very direct. But the thing is, this is giving you permission to just sort of, you know, step back a bit, take a few things off your to-do list for now, and take the pressure off. And if you find that you just don't know how or who you're going to let down, then sit with it. You will know. You'll ask for guidance, ask your spiritual team for guidance, and they'll give it to you, and you'll know what needs to just be put on hold. There's a couple of things here that just need to be put on hold or delegated. Okay, so let's get a little bit more information. Okay. Now, this is fears around money. So, you know, I'm just going to say that in this energy I'm feeling now, it's this fear around lost opportunity, and it makes complete sense when I go into the fact that, you know, you've got a few things on your plate, almost like you're spinning too many plates and you're biting off too much that you can chew just at the moment, and that's fear-based. It's fear-based. It's like you don't want to miss any opportunities. You're just saying yes to everything, and it's got to be pulled back. It's got to be pulled back. In the long run, you won't be cutting back on income. You'll still get the money, the same money. But right now, it needs to pull back. Otherwise, the universe has a lovely way of putting us on our ass, so we need to stop. So if you feel overwhelmed or overworked, and I know my auntie not long ago asked for some time off work, but they weren't in a position to give it to her. She ended up accidentally breaking her foot and ended up having, 2 months off or whatever, because she really needed that break. And how's that? See what I say? She really needed that break. The universe has a very interesting way of delivering things to us. So make sure you take the time and the space before the universe gives you no choice and gives you a break. I'm not saying you're going to break your bones. I'm not saying that. I'm using this as a pure example. So just pull back, okay? Because that's the message that I'm getting here for you. Now, you are excellent at what you do. When you really apply yourself, you have, I'm getting like a bit of a Virgo feeling here, or something along those lines. Now, if you're not the Virgo, there's someone around you. They like pretty things. I know you've got a really good eye for design, very creative. You like things in their place, okay? So the thing is, you're good at what you do, and when you focus on something, you get it done. So I want you to take away the need. You're really pushing yourself, and you don't need to. Okay, you're allowed to give yourself that space at the moment. Look, it does say here also going back to school. I feel like you've got enough information, but I also know you're a sponge and you like more and more. So pick up a book if it feels that void. I don't feel like you need to actually go back to school. You could be doing an online course, but it needs to be self-paced, and you need to slot it in where it's suitable. I don't want you to just go, oh my God, I've got to finish this course by here or read this book by here. That part needs to come away. And last but not least, there's this fear of them missing the opportunities. This just confirms everything that I've said already. The discontentment or boredom because you like to be overloaded. There's something about you, if you don't have this work commitment or this overload, you literally can get panicky. You need to be focusing on something. But I want you to turn that around and start focusing on yourself. That needs to be part of your schedule, and you treat that like a duty, like a job, because that then opens you up to new possibilities, new ways of doing things. And it's a very important message for you. This is an actual spirit coming in right now to say, slow down and schedule. And when you do what you do, you can put your all into it, but make sure there's time for you around that. Because if you don't do that, the universe will come in and do it for you, not necessarily in a way that you would have done it. So you've got the choice here, okay? And look, if you are sitting there right now with crutches or in a situation that's out of your control or something like that, then what's the lesson? How do you prevent this from happening? And I'm sure that this was the best case scenario, the way it played out, but you really need to take the synchronicities and the signs and the break when it's offered to you, okay? And that is your message for the Tiger Eye. You are one machine. You really are, but we need to fine-tune our machine. We need to service our car as it won't go. You need to service yourself. And that needs to be in way of meditation, the right sleep, taking back the notch. At least 2 things need to be on hold or pulled back at the moment, and you're not in a hurry, so stop pushing yourself like you are. And that is your message for the beautiful Tiger Eye. You are a superhero. You're doing fantastic. Give yourself a breath. Just take a breath. And that is your message for the Tiger Eye. I must admit, when I'm doing this card, this one, I've been getting a little bit dizzy on and off, so I know it's just the overwhelm. So please stay hydrated and give yourself the rest that you need, okay? And that is your reading for your empowering messages that the Spirit wanted to share with you. I hope they resonated with you. Please share, like, subscribe, pop your comments down below. I always love to hear how you go with these readings. And please stay well, beautiful people. Be kind to others, but especially be kind to yourself. Peace out.